Okay, last time I talked about grown-ups that are very, very foolish. And this is more like an update on that subject because there are some areas I did not really address, and I would like to address them in this particular video. So, some people say that it's true that some adults, they are grown-ups, but they do not know what being a grown up really means. They've not really gone through the process of knowing what a grown up really means. And I agree with them. I really, really agree with them because not everybody who is grown up is mentally grown up. Okay. The essence of someone going through the phases of growth in their life to become an adult is for them to pass through experiences that the younger generation could learn from, to could glean from them and learn from their experiences and back from their experiences. They say that uh, what 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 an elderly person will sit down and see, if a young person climbs a mountain, he cannot see it. Now, the essence of this of someone being an elderly person or an adult is so that the younger generation could glean or learn, attach. There could be a wisdom bank for the younger generation to learn from them and become better in their lives and know the pros and the cons of what to do, or know where not to step into. You just like someone who is into a business. If you're into a business, you have a master. Your master is someone who has gone ahead of you, who has learned that business. He's already practicing that business. And it's just like also in every business it's like that. In medicine, they call it internship. After studying medicine, you need to go for internship to practice under someone who is already doing it. Now, why are you going through that process? Irrespective, you've already learned it in school, you've already studied it in school. You need someone who is already practicing it, because practical knowledge is different from book knowledge. Now, an adult is supposed to be someone who has gone through these phases of life and who has known their left and right, back and front, to teach the younger generation. Now, but unfortunately, some people are grown-up babies. They are grown-ups, but they've not gone through those processes that make someone an adult. How will you how will you have a family and you leave responsibilities to only your wife? As a man, that's being irresponsible. As a man, that's you are practically a child or a baby making baby. Now, so the essence of being an adult is assume that you've gone through life processes that makes you a better person to teach the people who are following at your back. But unfortunately, not everybody has gone through that process. Now, if someone is an adult physically, but psychologically or mentally they are not grown up, now you have to be honest with yourself to tell yourself, okay, irrespective, I'm an adult, but you should humble yourself. You should be humble enough to see the fault or the errors or the flaws in you, that you find someone who you could learn from. We are not too old to learn, and we are not too young to teach. Now, if we could, if someone who thinks that he's grown, but there are deficiencies in his or her life, the ideal thing is to look for someone who they could learn from. Learning from someone does not mean that you are belittling yourself. No, it's a means of being responsible to step up to being an adult, or an adulthood. It's a state of an adulthood where we don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. but your ability to humble yourself to learn from people. It could be from the younger generation, or from the older generation. Whoever who has the knowledge of what you need, you could learn from them. Now, another point is the younger generation should look at the older generation and say and decide, what kind of life do I want to live, and who can model that life that I want to live, and I could learn from them and become that kind of a person. Now, there are a lot of successful people who has become successful by modeling. We call it mentorship. They have mentors, someone who picks them up, trains them, and fortifies them into a line of business, or into a line, or into something that they want to develop their career or themselves into. Now, if you find out you're an adult but you want to improve your life, find someone who you model from. It's not weakness. It's not weakness. Asking questions is not weakness. It's strength, because it means you want to strengthen yourself, your knowledge. Now, if you are a young generation, and you see someone who models the kind of life you want to live, you aspire to have or to live, what do? You could check their biography. Some of them you can't physically reach out to them. You could check their biographs or the biographies, their write-ups, their books, their teachings, so that you could glean from them what make them who they really are. Most of my mentors are not, I can't assess them physically, but I assess them through their works, their books, their writings, their interviews, their biographs, through a lot of their activities. I learn from them what they do. It's true I'm an adult, but I still have a lot of things I want to learn in life. So what do? I learn from people who I know are better than me, and that's the right way to be a grown-up. Now, the problem I've seen is that most grown-ups are not teachable. They are not malleable enough to know that I don't know. Someone who doesn't know and who thinks he doesn't know but thinks he knows is a fool. Do you understand? So you need to be humble enough to know I don't know this, irrespective of where I've gotten to in life. Why do you think that presidents and CEOs have advisors? They have special advisor to the president, special PA to the president, special this to the president, special financial advisor to the president, special commercial advisor to the. Why do they have all these advisors? They don't know it all. Irrespective, he's the first citizen of the country. He doesn't know it all. He has people around him who he gleans information from. He sources information and data from to make decisions. So if people who are in this high level of this hierarchical level are doing all these things, why do you think it's not so applicable in your level? So I think that most adults don't really know what adult really means. There is this stuff I was watching. A lady was really crying. She's in her 30s. She's crying that her mother did not really teach her what being a woman really was. Her mother, she has reached out to the mom for the mom to teach her, but the mom keeps declining their close relationship, and it's affecting her because she has not felt the motherly love. Now, if I was in her shoes, what will I do? I will look for a model or a mentor, someone who has that kind of lifestyle that I will, if my mother can't give it to me, someone else who can step up as a mother for her. If I'm just saying, if I'm in that position, I will look for someone who will step up as a father who I will learn from. And also know that if you model from someone, you need to be humble enough to be correctable. Correction is part of it. You need to be humble enough to know that someone who has gone ahead of you has a lot of knowledge. You can learn from them. Now, but this our generation, we have a lot of adults who thinks that they've known it all. Listen, if someone is educated, I place them in the same category I place fools, until they prove that they are not educated idiots. So anybody can be educated fool. So do not think that someone is educated, then he's intellectually or mentally matured. No, you have to prove yourself for me before I take you off that list. Now, so someone having a PhD, masters and whatever does not impress me. You have to prove. Have you not seen people who are educated but they are fools? They make irresponsible decisions. They make foolish comments, you know. So going to school, having head knowledge is different from book knowledge, you know. Common sense is different from book knowledge. So I think that we need to get to a position whereby someone needs to step up and tell some of these adults that what you're doing is wrong, but we need to correct them in love. You know, at times, because when a cement is in a liquid form, you know, you could shift it to any shape you want it to be, but once it's hard, it's very difficult to break it. Some of these adults are like cement. It's very, very hard to break them into pieces. Very, very difficult. Now, also, if someone is willing to change, they need to accept the fact that they need to be broken in a very hard way before they could go back to a liquid form. Do you get my point? Remember, I gave the analogy of a cement when it's in a liquid form. So if you are an adult and you've seen that the life you're living or what you're doing is not helping, it's not really the explicit example of who you really want to be, what do? You have to accept to be remodeled, you know, remolded and remodeled. Now, how is it done? You have to find someone who will do that job for you. You can't do that job for yourself at times. It's very difficult for you to change yourself. So what do? Look for someone who can be tough on you. Who can be tough on you. You know, someone who will ask you, what did you do today? Did you do this today? Did you do that today? How was your day? You know, they have to grind you into powder and reshape you again into the person you really want to be. You know, and it's very, very unfortunate that it's hard times really shaping and reforms people into who they should be. But unfortunately, because adults usually don't like pains, you know, they don't like anything that will put stress on them, so they prefer to be the way they really are. They don't want something that stresses them or stretches them. You know, like a rubber, when you stretch a rubber, what does it do? It goes back. But over time, as you keep stretching it, it keeps expanding, you know, until it loses its elasticity. Now, what am I trying to say? If someone keeps stretching the bad stuff in you, keep stretching it over time, you start changing. You start becoming the person you really want to be. You know, so this is more like an update of the previous video I made, and I believe that there are a lot of adults who knows that what they are doing is wrong. They are not making the world a better place, but they want to change, but they don't really know how to do it. You need someone who will help you walk through that path, because each part there's someone who has gone through that path, and the best thing as a wise person is to learn from them. Now, on the side of the young generation, if the young generation sees that their elders are walking on the right path or are doing the right thing, they will model. Kids just listen. Kids are more influenced by how you behave than what you say. Ask parents at home. Kids are the most observant. They watch what you do. So if you are modeling the right thing, automatically they just pick it up. But if you're modeling the wrong stuff, they pick it up. So if this generation sees that we are modeling the right thing, the right attitude, what would they do? They'll pick it up. The influence is subtle. It's very subtle. You keep doing the right thing over time. Over time, people around you picks it up. They know, no, this person, no, that's not how he behaves. So people give you that preference, that respect, that this is who this person is. Now, if you find it out in a category of as an adult or a grown-up who don't know what to do, find a mentor. And if you are gradually improving, start helping people who are at your back. Do not be a culprit to the mess we have in this world. No, be someone who makes a change. Be someone who makes this world a better place by you becoming a better person. You becoming a better person. There's a book I'm reading here. That's The Conspiracy of the Rich. The Conspiracy of the Rich by Robert Kiyosaki. This is my second time reading this book. Now, why am I reading this book? I'm reading this book because along the journey of my life, I found out that there are some things I really need to go back and restudy. Now, that's why I'm reading this book again. Now, I can't get to this Robert Kiyosaki physically, but I can learn from him from this place. And I have a journal where I write down what I learned from this person, from this book. So you could have a physical mentor or an online mentor, someone who impacts your life, someone who you respect, so that when they give instruction, you have to be honest. You have to be honest. To change your life, you have to be really, really honest and brutal. If you're not brutal and honest about it, you will never change. You will just do it today, tomorrow you fall off. So I encourage you to be a better adult, a better grown-up, and a better young a better young generation by being a better person yourself. Listen, all these TikTok shaking boots, shaking your ass, listen, those things are fads. AI can generate those kinds of stuff right now. So AI is taking off a lot of jobs right now. Now, what kind of skill will you have in the next 5-20 years that will still outpace AI? Have you thought about that? Now, if you are not thinking fast and slow, this world will get rid of you. I hope I've said enough for you to think about your life as a grown-up and stop messing around, because don't think you have time don't think you have time. Your time is ticking. It's ticking. And before you know it, we won't be alive in the next 100 and something years, all of us. So why not make good use of your life and be the person the world has always wanted, has always aspired to see, and make a difference. Until next time, I bounce.